Weirdos.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, let's do this.
All right, say hi, Tube.
Hi, Tube.
Hi, Tube. Thanks for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you.
All right.
All right, and of course, last but certainly not least,
Podcast
y'all ready for the podcast?
time.
You ready?
We're ready.
You ready for business, bros?
Yeah, they were ready.
We're ready.
All
15
right,
minutes ago.
here it is. Hey, really? You're gonna give me crap for being your producer?
My
Come
bad,
on, man.
dude. My bad.
Big brothers, I swear. What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna go a day without picking on them.
Ditto.
Right?
All right, here we go for the pod in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Hernanti is here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
The insurance bro, James C.S. with Pipeline Insurance. And man, we have had a fun, I don't know how long it's been, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, just getting prepared, getting started. We have a super exciting show for everybody today. Some fantastic guests with a palindrome for a phone number. I said it. I got you. Powered by Big Block Realty, your key to SD. Welcome to the show, Tracy Martinez and Jen Ryerson. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
of
Thank you.
course. You like that intro? Like he's
Yeah.
just
Very much.
he
yeah.
took that
very.
energy from the woo, and he like just brought it into the program.
Very peppy.
Bring it
Very
in, bring it
peppy.
in, bring it in.
All that energy ready to go. Before we get started, ladies, with our conversation, I want to make sure we talk about what we got going on. 365 pairs of shoes, ladies and gents. 365 pairs. We're about 138 pairs there. So if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley, which he didn't ride today, but he'll hop on his Harley right over there, pick up those shoes, give you a little Instagram, or keep you anonymous, completely up to you. Second, August 24th, we're going to have a beach cleanup in IB. So if you got high school students that need some community service hours, or you just want to be, a contributing member to society, you want to come out to IB, help us out, bring your water guns, because after we're done cleaning, we're going to have a water gun fight. So that's going to be some fun stuff. So August 24th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'll see you guys there. Ready?
Awesome.
We're ready.
Woo! Okay, ladies. New venture.
New venture.
This is a new beginning. You guys have both been in the industry for a while, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So, where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the origin stories, or we want to go straight to new venture? I'm going to give you a choice.
Well, I think origin, like where we came from, where we started at.
Perfect. Let's do that. So, flip of the coin. Ready? Blue. Imaginary coin. To my right goes first.
That's you. Your right is actually around the table.
Oh, yeah, that's right. To my right, and I use my left hand. That was great. Genius work right there.
Okay.
All right, let's go right then.
So I'll go first. Okay. All right. So I started out, I stayed home with our kids for 12 years, and our son was I think he was finishing up preschool, and I was like, I just really, really want to do something. And a friend of mine encouraged me to get my real estate license. And I'd thought about it for a long time over the years. And so I spoke with different people and decided just to, go ahead and give it a shot, see what I thought, it might be fun. And so I went ahead and did that, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. So I went from staying home, with our kids to, working pretty much, started out part-time, and now it's very much full-time. So, yeah.
How do the kids feel about that? How does the husband feel about that? I mean, you went from taking care of the kids, not having any financial contribution to the house,
Right.
but making a full-on contribution to the way the kids were raised.
Right.
To now, like, you're gonna kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It is. It's super rewarding. I really love it because if I absolutely need to be flexible, I can.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an adjustment because my husband is in the military. He's active duty. So we go through the cycles of deployments and all of that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And so we've kind of gotten to a place where we kind of have a nice little balance. He loves to cook. I don't love to cook. So whenever I'm working late in the evenings, he, steps in, and I love that. I'm so lucky because he totally helps out around the house all the time. So it wasn't really that hard, in that aspect. But I really enjoy my job. I love what I do. I've been licensed since 2013. And couldn't imagine, doing anything else. The kids they adapted. So, and they love that I have something that's for me too.
Yeah, they're pretty flexible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't come with a manual. Each one's different,
No.
but they adapt well.
Yeah.
They want to see.
Sometimes they come with us, I mean, if we're working
We're
with
still
a client,
moms.
or
Yeah.
someone that we know and they want to come and look at houses, there's a time and a place for it, of course. But,
How do you think that's going to influence them? You think you see your kids leaning towards military? Or you see your kids leaning towards their own business? Do they have like their own different ambitions completely? They're like, I don't want to do either one of those things.
neither one of my kids want to do what I do. My daughter wants to go into law enforcement, so she probably has more of some of her dad's tendencies. So,
All right.
yeah.
All
So
right.
anyhow, that's a little bit about myself.
All right, let's move on down the bench.
Hey. I have been licensed. I'll be going on my 12th year. And I started I used to work at Nordstrom as a manager for, 6 years at Nordstrom. And loved that. Learned all about customer service. I mean, what Nordstrom teaches you, the customer is always right. And so I loved my experience in sales with Nordstrom and just having that training. And then I got into insurance, sold insurance for a few years. And after that, started having kids and was a stay-at-home mom for a while. But always have had a sales background and enjoyed that. And a good friend of mine was a realtor and said, hey, get your real estate license, so much fun. And I've always loved looking at houses, going to open houses, and just the thrill of it all. And so got my license and never looked back.
Now, 12 years ago, that means you were in the mix of it.
Yes.
You got your license when things were not so hot.
But it was great. It was great to learn during that slow season and not be, because if I was thrown into it now at how fast paced it is, I look back and I'm thankful that I started at that time.
Well, even 2007, though, people look at the market and they're like, well, that was a bad time to be in the market. But people still bought and sold.
Right.
There were still people who needed to get out of a home.
Yes.
There were still things happening. A lot of realtors made a lot of money during that period.
Right.
It was just a different kind of market.
Right.
How do you think it helped you, get you ready for today?
Well, I just,
There's a lot of...
I'm trying to, you mean as far as the recession, everything going through that? I don't know. I just appreciate more. I guess I have more knowledge and everything now. And back then I would have been scared, newly licensed, just thrown into that, maybe a little more fearful, or maybe not have lasted, but just stuck it through. And
12 years
here
later.
I am.
Yeah. So have you guys known each other for a long time, or did you guys just meet recently? How did you guys decide to start a new thing yourselves?
So our kids went to elementary school. And whenever I got my license, I kept hearing, you need to talk to Tracy Martinez. You need to talk to, who is this Tracy Martinez? And so I think I was taking my test. And I said, hey, can I come talk to you? And I actually have a similar background that I didn't mention. I came from Neiman Marcus. She came from Nordstrom. And I ran a business at home for 12 years. And so I'd been doing all of that. And so I knew whenever I got to talking to her, and I was like, oh, wow, we have really similar backgrounds. And at the time she was with a different company, and, I was like, I'm totally interested in, going to work where you work at. And so that's where we kind of started out together. And then we just decided that, we would like to partner up to help each other out, mainly, because she'll go on a trip and I can step in for her, and vice versa. Or if she's busy at a track meet and I need to step in and go help her clients, I can do that. And so that's really kind of what brought the idea on, is that, really just helping each other, supporting each other, and
well, and I think that when you partner with somebody, you have to have similar values. And the way we both run our business, I was able to see the past few years just how Jen runs hers, and it's similar to mine, of just customer service. Right. The customer is first and foremost, 100%. We both have 100% satisfaction from all reviews from past clients, and that's what drives our business. That's what's most important. And I feel like when you run your business with not looking at the dollar sign at the end, but truly your client and their best interest at the end, you're going to get referral. People notice that, especially in today's market, and customer service, I feel like, is a dying breed in a lot of areas. And so I feel like that's where we shine and
It's the
shine
chivalry
together.
of the market. It's just
Yeah.
on its way out the door. Shouldn't be that way, but
No.
it comes and goes. We went from a very customer service oriented era to speed is what we need to do.
Right.
We lost sight
Right.
of that, and now we're back to customer service. We have more exposure to the bad things we do. People are easy to point out every mistake we make, so we don't want to make those mistakes. We want to make sure that we're staying top of mind in a positive fashion, not going viral in a negative fashion.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it makes the biggest change. Now, I ask this of anybody who comes on the show that's been in the business for 10 or more years. Where does most of your business come from?
For me, it's referral based.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Same.
Yeah, because that's the way you guys talk about how you treat your customer, the way you talk about how you interact with them, the thing that you put before the paycheck at the end, it's a testament to that. And we get a lot of realtors who listen who are new or just getting started, year 1, year 2, and they're struggling, and because they're kind of starving for a paycheck, they're after that paycheck all the time.
Right.
And we try to always tell them the same type of thing. It's like, look, you got to make sure that you're client focused. You got to make sure that you don't come off as commission breath agent. You want to keep the customer at the top at all times, because once you do that, that one transaction will lead to multiple more transactions. If you treat them like a transaction, it's going to close and it's going to be done. But if
That
you
is
treat
so
them
true.
like a person, and you build a relationship with this person, it's not the transaction doesn't end at close of escrow.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming that most of your clients are your friends.
Friends, and then if we're not, then we end up friends afterwards. One of my favorite things is having my clients tag me on Facebook after they've moved into their house and they want me to see what they did with their backyard, or they painted the wall a different color, and it's so rewarding that they even thought to include me in that. And it's really neat to be able to have that connection with them beyond the sale. So
Absolutely. And it leads to more business.
Yes.
You don't need to really ask for it because you're constantly in touch with them. Right. So, one of those things that we talk about all the time is if I'm getting ready to buy a home, right? Let's pretend I'm not a realtor, right? I'm getting ready to buy a home. I'm going to first go to the realtor that I know. If I don't know a realtor, I'm going to go to ask a friend for a referral. And then third is I'm going to find some marketing tactic, right? So I always tell people the first 2 things you need to do is be the realtor they know, or be the friend of the realtor that they know, because those are the 2 biggest lead sources that you can possibly get, and they're recurring lead sources.
Right.
So what are you guys doing a little bit different to keep in touch with your circle of influence, or to grow that circle of influence so that those referral leads come in?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and go. Something that I do, I try to, we call them touches, and I try to touch at least quarterly, if not more. I want them to be hearing from me. People that have bought homes from me in the past, they're getting, a quarterly update, like on what's going on in their neighborhood. And I usually there's usually a little something that I include in it. And I've had clients who are like, I always look forward to getting those, and so, that's one of the things that I do. So,
and we're branching out too, in this new venture as far as our marketing efforts, and we want to be known as your San Diego neighborhood realtor. And so what we've started to do is interview local businesses and meet owners of different places we've tried out, interview them. We're putting together videos so that we'll market and highlight their restaurant or whatever it is, coffee shop, restaurant, any type of small business, big business, it doesn't really matter, but neighborhood business, and give them some exposure, put them on our website. So our goal is to do 96 of those interviews this year and
totally
get out
doable.
there. Yeah, it is totally doable.
Yeah.
And so we're excited to and I didn't mention my husband's a firefighter, and Jen and I have started something as far as an incentive program for our first responders, military, and educators, where we give back a portion of our commission to help with their closing costs, because we feel every penny matters here in San
But it
Diego.
does. I mean, when you look
But-
at the price points, we get some
Right.
higher end price points. Every penny does count
It does.
when it comes down to closing. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that last penny didn't come through at
Right.
the 11th hour, right?
Right.
So whatever we can do to make it happen, I mean,
Yes.
that's better. I love the fact that you guys are focused too. That you're going military service members,
Yes.
educators. I'm a fan of the educators.
Yes, absolutely.
Just a little,
You
get
guys
a little
don't
bias
get paid
there.
enough for what you do. You know, just a
Yeah.
little bit of our appreciation,
Yeah.
token of our appreciation, and you know, we're grateful for.
And I don't know if people say this enough, but thank you for your service too, because firefighting, sheesh,
Yeah,
it's hardcore.
We're going into fire season, so it's always
nerve wracking
nerve
for sure.
wracking
Yep.
when the fires pop up. But thank you.
Well, speaking of seasons, we're going into what I call the dead quarter, the end of the fourth quarter. When we hit pretty much Halloween, everything kind of changes for realtor lives. So right now, everybody's still, you go to the office, there's cars in the parking lot. After Halloween, for some reason, the cars aren't there as much, right? But it's a great time to do some sort of marketing tactics, some sort of campaigns to get out there and be top of mind with your people. And I think we kind of hinted on it before the show, but I was kind of curious. What are some of the things you guys are planning for that time, for after Halloween? Some little contributions to give back to the community.
Let's see, what do we have planned? Well, we would like to do a food drive around, you know, Thanksgiving, collect some food and do something like that. And we've talked about we have lots of grand ideas.
Lots of ideas.
And we're just kind of fine tuning, you
Yeah.
know, what we should do, because I'm type A, and then all of a sudden it's squirrel, you know, like a million different things
Yes.
going on in my mind constantly. But we have some exciting things planned. And we have, with the Chula Vista Firefighter Foundation, I've always sponsored, and this is spring. It's funny you say seasons, because I don't know about Jen, but people always ask us, oh, it's the spring season, it's so much busier. And really, in the last few years, I haven't really felt that, you know, in the winter time, it slows so much greater, you know, or what have you. It actually has been pretty steady throughout the year. You felt that too. So that's been my perspective. But in the springtime, they do a Easter egg hunt in Chula Vista, and I sponsor and get the candy for that. And they don't charge anything, but we do have a limited amount of tickets. And so Jen and I will have a booth there this year and just be out. Anything when we can get out in the community and meet people. That's what we want to do. Be involved.
That's one of those things that a lot of realtors, I think, struggle with. They don't do very many community type events. Can you guys talk a little bit about why that's been so beneficial for you guys? Like doing those types of community events? Because I feel like a lot of times when they get into it, they're like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get a deal out of it. Right? Like there's no quid pro quo type thing.
And if your mentality is set that way, you're not looking. When your mentality isn't the dollar sign at the end, of course we get paid, and it is a great lifestyle, you know, great career. But when you're driven by that, you're going to treat everybody, and even realtors treat other realtors different in a transaction. You know, there's certain realtors that I've worked with and just rude through the transaction or what have you. And it's like, when you look at it as long term, like, hey, one day we're going to probably be in another transaction together, you know, and you're not doing your clients any service by how you're behaving in the transaction. Do you think I'm going to, you know, suggest to my sellers, hey, we should choose that offer or what have you, if they don't do a great service for their client? And so when you're people driven, and that's what it's about, is just getting out in the community, meeting people, the business is what follows. Yeah. Instead of just chasing after the business, when you meet people and have the relationships, I feel it just falls in line, falls into place.
Well, and I think that's both where she and I are a lot alike in that. You know, we both love to give back. We both love to contribute to our community. We've both been involved with, you may have heard of it, A Night to Remember, Special Needs Prom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she's been involved with it, I think, from the beginning. I hopped in probably year 2, And it's just something we're both super passionate about. It's an amazing night for those kids.
I mean,
and
your heart, right? It just, you can't help but to cry sometimes. You have the tears well up. I mean, these kids are so happy to be part of, something so special that they don't normally really get to enjoy the way everybody
They're not
else does.
celebrated in the same way. And so that night it's a celebration, and the parents that come up after in tears just, I've never seen my child this happy. And they're crying and we're crying. I mean, it is, I get chills talking about it. It's incredible. it really is. So, I mean, we just touched on a few of the things that we do, and there's many more I can't think right on the spot, but it's about people. Connecting.
Yeah, it's always going to be about people. So I got a question. How did you guys come up with your name? Is it something that you guys sat around and like kind of decided after a while? Yeah. I mean, you guys got some cool swag, right? Yeah. So how did you come up with the name? I know for us, for the Business Bros, I'll give you the little heads up.
Okay.
It was like I was filling out the form to do a podcast on Apple, and it said podcast name, and I was like, hey, we need a podcast name. He's like, well, we're brothers. We're in business. We'll call it Business Bros. And that was the extent. That's it. We filled out the line. So it wasn't very creative. We don't have a very awesome story, but I'm curious. How'd you guys come up with your business name or your partnership name?
Lots and lots of brainstorming, back on hours on the phone, back and forth, FaceTime or whatever, and just jotting down. I just keep a notepad and would just jot, different thoughts of things. And I don't know. I don't even know how it really came about. I was looking at logos and seeing I like the key, and what was the one that we came up with before that one?
Oh gosh, was it the knock knock one?
knock knock San Diego or something. I don't know.
I can't remember. We had a list.
That one was but all of a sudden I'm like, your key to SD. Like, we're your key to SD. It just clicked. I was so excited, and she's like, that's it.
Well, we went on Instagram and started searching, like, to make sure that
it wasn't taken.
No hashtags, the name wasn't taken.
The website
wasn't taken. Like, it all just
everything lined up.
And I think when I don't know that we had it as your key to SD. We had some other ideas
Variations.
with it. And so we had a close circle of friends we did a private message. Hey, what do you guys think about this? We need some input. And it was pretty much unanimous.
It was.
That everyone was like,
that
your
one.
key to
It's
SD.
so catchy.
So
when we do our other videos and interviews and stuff, we always end with, we're your key to SD.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice. It's catchy. It's simple, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the best part of having a buyer is giving them the keys.
Yes.
Right?
It's very exciting. Yes.
That day is the day that their life completely changes. Welcome home. Right. This is your part of San Diego. I think it fits great.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's perfect. It's catchy. It's easy to say over and over again. Your key to SD.
Yes.
And you guys are going to be doing some interviews with business owners. That's a nice little slogan to have at the end. It's easy for them to say. Yeah. A little suggestion is you get them to say it.
Yes.
So if you get them to say it, it's like a client testimonial.
Yes.
So you create a marketing piece and you get them to say, thanks for helping out. If you need any help, this is your key to SD or however you want to say it.
Like
but if you get them to do
it,
that's money on your Instagram right there.
Yes.
Nice. I like that.
Like it.
That'll help.
For sure.
Wow.
I like it.
And then our phone number that we just found out about.
Oh my gosh.
What's the word again?
Ooh, yeah.
Palindrome. Who knew?
So forwards or backwards, it's all the same if you don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's
the
phone number.
with the exception of the area code.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Forget the area code.
Forget the area code.
841-1148.
Details.
See, you remembered it. You didn't even have to look at anything. Look at that.
Because it's the same backwards and forwards.
That's right.
You only got to remember 3 numbers, which is why you picked it, right?
Right. That's right. It's like a bonus. The other part.
That one makes sense to me. I don't know why. All right, let's do Ask the Bros section. So what do you can ask us anything you like, personal, business, to him, to me, to both. Either way, ask the bros.
Why did you decide to do the shoe drive?
Why the shoe drive? Ooh. You want to go that one?
Sure.
Okay.
It was right around Christmas time. It was really close to Christmas time, and I was just walking or running through Balboa Park. I think I was walking my dog. And I just came across this homeless woman who was on the floor just crying, and I just happened to notice that she didn't have any shoes. And I don't know, I just decided to give her my shoes, and it made her day, and she was like all brightened up, and like everything, you know, seemed better. I mean, I don't know if that was going to end her whole depression mood that she was in or whatever, but for that day it made her happy, and I walked home barefoot and got crazy looks from people.
That is so awesome.
And that was it. I was like, there's something that I want to do to give back to the community, and that was the thing that inspired it. So I said, shoes.
I love
shoes.
that.
Homeless people need shoes. And, you know, I've gone and talked to a few, because I live right by Balboa Park, and they're there every night, you know. So I've gone over to talk to them, and they go through a pair of shoes once every 3 months or so. So they're going through a lot of pairs of shoes, a lot more than, you know,
That is
we
crazy.
would. So, yeah, that's where that came from. And
That's awesome.
our dad has always had a soft spot, if you will. It's always been something that he's been passionate about, is the homeless community. And that's definitely where I want to head my focus in when it comes to giving back.
That's awesome. I love that. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I think maybe what we should do, and I'm putting you on the spot in doing this, but I think that
What
we
are
should
partners good
do
for?
a little drive between the two of us and all of our social media accounts, collect shoes and help them.
Yes.
They need 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. That's the goal. And I think they can absolutely surpass that.
We got to hit up Sam, see if we can put a box at the
So-
office.
Jen has at least 100 in her closet that she can donate.
Yes.
So we just got you up
So-
to.
Or, you know, I can go shopping for more.
Oh, you're going to have to suffer.
I know. How kind of us to donate our shoes to get new shoes.
Just a thought.
It works. It works though, right? It works. We'll take donations no matter how we get them.
And they can be used, they can be new.
New,
So
used.
share with us.
Yep.
Okay.
New,
Yep.
used, or cash donations. But if you guys want to do the shopping, because we'd rather not have to
Okay.
do the shopping.
Yes.
What about
That
gift
work.
cards?
Yeah,
Do you
that'd
prefer for
work.
it to be cash or?
You know what? It doesn't matter. I mean,
Okay.
we have the you see that was our first cash donation, so
Nice.
we've left there. We've ordered the shoes and just left the cash donation just so we can always have it pointed
is
at,
so
at where
cool.
our cash donation's going. And it doesn't matter either way. We just want to get to that goal.
That's
And if we can surpass it, and that'd be awesome.
We
One
can
of
help.
our lenders that we partner with, they actually give shoes. For every transaction that closes, they donate a pair of shoes, and they go out every year and do an event at a local school, and they bring backpacks and fill them with socks and all kinds of goodies, and every kid gets a backpack and a pair of shoes.
That's awesome.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, we live in San Diego, and we have some very affluent areas, but we have some areas that are not, that struggle that the kids do.
do.
You
Yes.
never know what's going on at
Right.
home. They might not have parents that are there all the time. I know when we grew up, my parents, they were at work all day. We came home and we were on our own till 6-7 o'clock at night when mom and dad came home. That's just the life that we had growing
Right.
up, So
Yeah.
we know that there's a lot of kids that are going through the same type of thing. So that's really awesome that you have stuff that gives back to that
Yeah.
community. It's almost like a hidden community that we have, because
Right.
they're there with the other kids. You don't really know what's going
Right.
on. You just know that every little bit helps.
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
And then I
let's do
have a
it.
question.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. That's a yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so starting the podcast, all your setup, it's the technology here. Love it. But how did you know did you guys just go and order everything at once? Did you Google and look up what mics, or did somebody help you? Did you lean on other people and say, what should we, because we're kind of going through that with our video, thing of what do we need? And we'll try out different things. That didn't work or what? So how did you get to all this?
Yeah, very much the same way. So I committed to doing we first tried the video. Problem is editing takes so long, and you either like to do it or you don't like to do it.
Right.
I can edit. It's not my forte, right? It's
Right.
not my thing. So I was like, okay, well, what can we do that's going to be, that I don't have to do as much editing. That's pretty simple. I can do on a daily basis. And so podcast came up, and originally we only did audio. So the video didn't even exist. That wasn't a part of it yet. Okay. I went on Amazon and I was like, okay, let's look at, I just typed, want to start a podcast, and it gave me couple different options.
wow.
And I was like, 2 mics or 4 mics? I think eventually maybe I'll have people be on the show. I think that would be cool. So let's do 4 mics. So I ordered the thing. I think it was like $500-$600. Ordered it, and I'm like, I'm committed. I'm
Right.
doing this. And so we started doing it. As people started to come on the show, they would advise us, hey, you guys should think about, you should use this software. Oh, you know
Right.
what? You guys should do video. There's this thing called the Sling Studio to help you do this. And like everybody who's been on the show has been contributing to our show in general, whether it's the technology that we use, whether it's our the banners that we have, or how we say things, or whatever that they have their 2 cents. Like, you should try this. We listen, we internalize, and then we decide, this is something that we got to do. So everything is, just if you plan on doing it, do it. And commit
Right.
to doing it, and
Right.
and know that you're going to make the mistakes,
Right.
and just filter through them, and continue to get better and better every single. It's like prospecting.
Right.
You're going to have your script,
Right.
Right.
and the first time you do it, you're going to suck. You're not going to know what you're going to say. You're going to practice it every day, and you're going to get better and better and better. Before you know it, it's not a script anymore. It's just what you say.
Right.
Right. It's you've internalized it. It's become your thing. So that's for us.
So these
that
are
was
the
podcast.
original ones you ordered?
The mics are the original. The stands have
Wow.
changed. The video is we're maybe 150 episodes in with video or something like that.
This little
160.
thing right here.
Those were the different. We've tried different stands.
Maybe. Have you ever
We
used a
went-
gimbal?
The little. Is that the little?
The handheld that it moves with you?
It's like
Oh
a
yes,
motorized
yes,
selfie
yes.
stick,
The
but
smooth,
That's
whatever.
the
it's
one I
called.
have, and I really think there's something wrong with it. 'cause you cannot-
or something wrong with her.
Right.
We cannot
User error.
It might, yeah. There might be something.
You know what it
I
is?
don't know.
And we have the greatest teacher of all time. It's called Google,
Google.
Yes.
right? And that's
on my
exactly
to-do list,
that's
yes.
exactly what I do. Like, if I want to know something
Right.
and I don't know, I'm gonna Google it. Are you guys thinking about doing a podcast?
We have not, but it's definitely. I mean, I've
knows?
thought about it, but we're trying to do these videos, so it's like one thing at a time.
We're not closed off to anything. Any
Yeah.
ideas? We're open to.
I love the
right now.
idea.
We're exploring. Yes, absolutely.
If you're looking at videos for interviews and you want some high quality, like a team, let me know. We always recommend Visionary Media. They're the ones that do
Right.
our stuff. And I mean, they come with you on site.
Right.
It's one thing to come out and want to videotape. It's another to go out and the person has, like, you tell them, this is what I want to do, and they come with you.
Right.
Like, that's great, but you should do it this way and try doing this angle, and we'll do it like this, because they have an ultimate vision of
Right.
what, they take what you see and they expand it and turn it
Right.
into something that's production value.
But I'm reminding you, 96 of them this year.
96 of them.
And
Yeah.
professionally done.
Right.
Could get,
Cha-ching.
But at the very
Costly.
least,
No
you did
more.
it-
We have eliminated our give back program. We are,
but at the very least, you learn from that experience, right?
Yes.
So let's say you do it like on a trial run. Maybe you just to get the experience, and you kind of understand like how the process
Right.
works and what you want to do, and then go on and do it yourself. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
what it's for.
True.
And there's nothing, you learn from everything. I spent
right.
$600 just to get the mics.
Yeah.
Like, what if
Yes.
I didn't commit?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have been, that's just your capital investment to get started. Because I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know anything about video and editing and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
I
Just
give it a shot.
iMovie.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever
I saw on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
So cool. That was good. 2 good questions.
Well,
Thank you guys. All right, here's what we're going to do. Ham, which one?
Start with Jen.
So we'll start with Jen. Look at that camera right there. How do people get a hold of you?
You call 619-841-1148. And our website is www.yourkeytosd.com.
2 as in T-O?
T-O.
Okay, cool. Sometimes
Your
you gotta
key
clarify that,
to
right?
SD.
Otherwise
Yeah.
it gets, everybody's like, it's not there. I'm getting an error.
Tracy over here.
Oh, Tracy
And-
right there.
Well, and I'm the same. So 619, because we're partners, 841-1148, and Your Key to SD. And on Instagram, we're at Your Key to SD is our Instagram name.
Perfect. Well, you always want to do the 2 because remember, anytime you do any content, you get extra little pieces of content. So maybe it's you saying it, maybe it's you saying
Right.
it. So think about that when you're doing your video stuff, even if it's at a different angle. I mean, every time you switch,
Right.
captures your attention. Every time you have you know,
Right.
that content, it's going to be a little bit different, even though you're saying the same thing.
Right.
Right.
So a little heads up from what we've learned so far.
Thank you.
One more thing is that
Yeah.
we didn't mention our Facebook group. It's not a business page, but it's a Facebook group, and it is also your key to SD.
So let's look. If
So we're
you,
everywhere.
if you need help, if you're lost, if you're locked out of your dream,
I love that. What's our new tagline?
It was unlock your dreams with your key to SD.
That's
we
right.
go.
We're
See?
taking him wherever we go, and he's
I'll do your intros everywhere you go.
there you go.
you.
Ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen,
I love
boys
that.
and girls, children of all ages.
Well, ladies, thank you for coming out, being
Thank
on the
you.
show. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to come on. You get first podcast,
First.
It is.
so you guys did a
Couldn't
good
you
job.
tell?
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting us.
Of course,
you.
didn't even
awesome.
embarrass anybody.
No, I just had a 5-minute pause when you asked me a question. A little brain freeze.
Nobody noticed. It was
Right,
5 minutes in your
right.
mind. It was like 2 seconds in real life. So no worries. All right, ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace,
Bye-bye.
and we're out.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Facebook. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Woo!